Hey you guys, Trey Vittetoe here, and today I want to talk about how Spotify has just announced a new beta program where they're going to allow artists to upload music directly. I want to talk about whether that's a big deal for artists, for Spotify, or both. So here we go. So up to now, for independent artists, if you've wanted to upload your music to iTunes or Spotify or any of the digital outlets, you had to do it through third-party companies like TuneCore. And if you've ever done that before, you know it's a bit cumbersome. So as of now, Spotify is allowing a limited number of artists to actually go in and directly upload their music to their site. So what does that mean? First of all, it means that unless you were invited to be part of this limited group, you don't yet have the option to directly upload your music to Spotify. Maybe for a few minutes, I should just get into the whys. Why would they do this? Well, as all of you probably know, if you wanted to upload your music directly to a streaming service up to this point, you probably did it through Soundcloud. And Soundcloud has become quite popular for people that are searching for new music, looking for independent artists and seeing what's really out there, what maybe is kind of shuffling around on the underground and what might blow up. So SoundCloud really has a little niche all its own that really caters perfectly to independent artists in that way. So I'm sure companies like iTunes and Spotify have been wondering for some time how they can maybe take a piece of that action. But there's also other important things that come about with this that really benefit companies like Spotify. One thing we can pretty well figure out is Spotify doesn't have to rely on third-party companies for artists to upload their music through. They're probably going to save some money there. But another interesting place they could save money is if you, the artist, are going in, you're tagging your music, adding data, that's something that could reduce the work on the Spotify side and save them some money as well. But one thing is absolutely sure, that Spotify's doing this because they see it as a potential income opportunity. And there's no doubt that every other big player is certainly watching what they're doing, particularly Apple Music. So let's take a look at it and see if we can figure out what some of the benefits will be for the independent artist who is now able to upload directly. So what we're looking at on the screen is the Spotify for Artists page. And if you've already joined up with that, this is where you would have been invited to be a part of this new beta program. So Spotify has a special tool to upload your music. This would be the page that you work from. And if you haven't yet been invited, then it says here, independent artists can now upload music using Spotify for Artists. Sign up for our mailing list to find out when we're inviting more artists. So right here is where you can be notified, and I will put a link in the information section below the video. So let's talk about some of the benefits you will have as an artist uploading your music directly to places like Spotify versus having to pay for a third-party company like TuneCore or CD Baby. With TuneCore and CD Baby, there is a charge. Smaller charge for a single, larger to put up an album. And if you want to keep your album up with TuneCore year after year, you have to pay an annual fee. So right there's a huge benefit to bypassing those guys. Some of the benefits that Spotify says artists will have are that when you upload your music, you will be able to see a preview of exactly how it's going to look before it shows up on the site. And once your music actually goes public, you'll be able to have full control of your metadata. You'll be able to do any kind of edits you want to easily right there on their site without having to try to do that through a third party. And of course, all your statistics will be available there at Spotify. They'll be the ones that pay the money directly into your bank account once a month. Now, beyond those benefits, right now, it's too new to know much more. It's limited. So it's going to take a minute for us to really see what the full impact can be for the artist. But those are some of the things that you can count on. So who are the losers in this game? Well, as you probably guessed, the third-party distributors. Second of all, it's likely that SoundCloud will take a huge hit. Remember, one of the great benefits of SoundCloud was people could go there and look for independent music that was probably available nowhere else. And now those very artists could be on Spotify. However, it may take a while for that to really hit SoundCloud because they have such a huge number of independent artists that are distributing through them. And of course, Spotify, even if they opened up to everybody that had an artist account, they still wouldn't have near as many potential people uploading music right away. Now, just one last thought about this. One of the things that I find many young up-and-coming artists somewhat ignorant about is there's always this sense of, let me find some place or somebody that can sort of take over my business and do everything for me so I can just create music. And I want to tell you that this doesn't change anything in that sense. If you are an independent artist that doesn't have a following, hasn't built a social media following, don't have a fan base somewhere, or not out playing and developing fans, doing something to get people to know who you are and know about your music, then the chances of someone finding you on Spotify are still pretty unlikely. The first thing you have to do is to find people to listen to your music. You have to develop a fan base. And the places to do that are places just like this on YouTube. You have to build your social media through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Anywhere you can get out there and build a fan base, you need to build it. You need to be out there playing shows, letting people know where they can find your music. Once you start doing those kind of things, then being able to actually sell your music online becomes a much bigger deal. All right, you guys, I hope this was useful to you. If it was, please like and subscribe. And until next time,